When I first got this car, I thought I could get it fixed no problem. We got a problem in one of the cylinder heads. It's not gonna run now. Oh my gosh. Crack right there. The mounts aren't bad either. That's coolant coming out of the front of the engine. We're gonna take all this back apart. We got some misfires. Yeah, I was wrong. I spent the past few weeks getting everything just about perfect on this car, and it seemed like every time I got this close to starting it, we got that much further away. And now I'm feeling really frustrated and burnt out on this car, just because everything I've done seems like it's all turned into shit. At this point, I have near lost all my enthusiasm about this build. I'm frustrated because I need to get this thing off my lift, and every time I think I'm getting close, something else pops up and has to be fixed. But all this pain and suffering will be all worth it once we finally get this car started for the first time and have it running. I wonder if we're going to be able to start this thing tonight. What do you think? All right, let's see what happens here. That was very uneventful. Nothing happened. Honestly, it not starting right there was the least of my problems. Let's go back to the beginning. Wow, this thing's really good. So instead of fixing the bad motor that came out of this thing, we decided to get a good used one. Now this used motor had just under 200,000 miles. It was filthy on the outside, but really clean on the inside. Like, really clean. That made me feel good about my purchase. We dropped a stack on this engine, and it only comes with a 90-day warranty. So we got to get it cleaned up, sealed up, and ready to go in the car to make sure it works. And I probably should have taken the time to check compression while doing all this, but more on that later. It took me days of cleaning and multiple cans of brake clean until I was satisfied with how this engine looked. There was a lot of grime and dirt on the outside of it, and I wanted it as clean as possible. That way we could see any engine leaks or anything going on once we had it all back together. Everything was going good. We got it all cleaned up. We sealed up every part of the motor, including the oil pan, which we didn't originally plan to do, but the good used engine had a dent in the pan. So we took the pan off the old motor and sealed it up to the new one. Again, this was the least of my worries. We put a water pump and timing belt kit on the motor while it was out and easy to work on, but later on you'll see it didn't even matter at all. After we thought everything was perfect, we went ahead and installed the engine into the vehicle, and this went pretty smoothly as well. Dropped right in and bolted right up. And then we went to put the exhaust crossover pipe, and that's when everything started going wrong. So this back crossover exhaust pipe here, right here, it goes up in here, and you see I've taken some studs out. And that's because I couldn't get this thing to line up quite right. So the problem is, when I go to put this manifold on, or go to put this crossover pipe on, even though the studs are all lined up here, this manifold will not line up with the crossover pipe. So we got the manifold off, and I definitely should have noticed this before. It looks like maybe this manifold has been replaced before, and that could be the problem, because it looks nothing like these other manifolds, unless Toyota put a different manifold on here later on, but maybe this was replaced. Who knows? Now we're going to put this manifold on. Crossover pipe should line up. Then we can continue on. Okay, so now we should be able to put this crossover pipe up here. And it fit right on there. Oh yeah, there's one side. There we go. We also forgot to transfer the fuel line, and the junkyard cut the one off the engine we got. So we had to remove the intake again just so I could transfer the fuel line. No big deal, but it will come back into play later. So after we cleared those hurdles, which weren't that bad, we sealed the front of the transmission up and got that installed. Again, everything went pretty smoothly. No real issues with the install. With the transmission in, we were just about ready to start this thing, or so I thought. I just needed to put together the front of the motor and install the radiator. Now this old radiator is not in the best condition, and I planned on replacing it, but I really wanted to see if this motor started and ran, so I went ahead and installed it and started filling up all the fluids. You get everything together, you get it all ready, we're about ready to start it, and this happened. That's coolant coming out of the front of the engine. I don't know where it's coming from. We got a brand new water pump on it, new gasket. We cleaned everything up, but I can't think of anywhere that should be coming out of. So we're just gonna have to take all the stuff back off the front of the motor and see where it's coming from, I guess. This is why when you're at an engine shop, they'll pressure test the engine on the bench before they even put it in. which is probably what I should have done as well, but I didn't have it all the way together, technically, on the bench until I had it all the way in. So it's all about doing steps and to prevent this from happening. And so the next day was Saturday, and we came in and got the water pump off in about 20 minutes, undoing all the work I'd already done, and I told you it wouldn't matter. And we did all this just to find a bent metal gasket causing the water pump to leak. Now it was leaking between these two right here. You can see where it's bent a little bit there. My worst fear is something's wrong with the block, because what the hell am I going to do if that's the problem? But if you come over here, you look straight down on it right here, you can see that the block itself is pretty flat too. It's got no divots in it really or anything. Now there's a little divot right here. And I'm gonna try to sand all that material out right there, because that could be causing a problem as well. Then we're gonna fill it back up with water and see if it leaks. If it doesn't leak, then we're gonna put it all back together. We're gonna see if we can get it running. Now, after this whole ordeal of having to take the water pump back off, drain the radiator back out, and undo all the work I'd already done, I decided to get a new radiator when we went to install it back in. And once I had the water pump on, I installed the radiator and went ahead and pressure tested the whole system just to make sure it didn't leak. We let it sit for about an hour or so and all seemed okay, and we decided to put everything back together. It's now Tuesday, and I believe today is the day I'm finally ready to get this thing to start and run. We spent the past few days getting everything just about perfect on the motor, and now I'm finally ready to hear it run and purr. That was very uneventful. Alright, it turns out that we needed a starter for this thing. Not sure why. After we got a brand new starter installed, we're finally ready to hear this motor run. And it didn't start up right away. It took quite a bit of cranking, but once we did get it started up, it was less than disappointing. Yeah, the engine ran horrible. In fact, it had a misfire on cylinder 6 and 5. And it seemed like we weren't getting any spark to cylinder 6. So we got some misfires going on, and we're trying to figure out why. That's what's coming out of the fuel filter. After trying all the tricks of the trade, getting the misfire to go away, swapping coils, swapping wires, checking everything else, we decided to check compression. And yeah, I should have done this right away instead of trying literally everything else. But when you get in this state where you're so frustrated about a car, you don't think clearly and you just want to get the problem fixed as quick as possible. Alright, so we're back, and last night we checked compression and we got 0 pounds out of cylinder 6 here. But after the compression test, it was easy to see that this was not going to be a quick fix. So we decided to rip the bore scope out, and we went right down in the cylinder to see what was going on. And when we turned the bore scope up, back looking into the valves, we saw the problem. Right there. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea why it's in there. We're going to try to get it out. You can see that piece of metal down there. There was something stuck in the valve, causing it to stay open and causing the cylinder to have no compression. Now, the only way I could see this piece of plastic getting in here and getting stuck in this valve is when I had to take the intake back off to replace the fuel line. I must have broke a piece of plastic, and it must have slipped down in the cylinder when I didn't even see it. We spent about 40 minutes fishing with different angle picks and other tools, and we finally got the piece of plastic out that was holding us up. What the is that? Excuse me. What is that? And why is it in cylinder 6? There it is. We got it out. Eager to finally hear this thing run right, we put the intake back together and fired it right up. And it sounded a whole lot better. No misfires, but the engine did make a little bit of noise, and this was a little concerning at first, but as I done more research, I figured it was just the lifters getting stuck in the valves, and maybe it would go away after it ran for a while. Alright, so we've located this noise to this right side over here, and it's something in the valve train on this valve cover over here. We're going to have to remove this valve cover anyway because we got an oil leak down there. It looks like it's coming right off our corner here. So we need to check that out. And then obviously the engine's running actually really nice. besides that noise. And after further examination, we seen that the valve cover was cracked, but luckily we had the valve cover from the other motor, so we just cleaned it up and put it right on here. And it's very convenient to have this because these valve covers are hard to come by. And while we had the valve cover off, we figured we would dump some sea foam down in the valve to see if it helped the knocking at all. And it didn't. So even though the motor is making a noise, we decided to take it on a road test anyways because it needed some gas. And driving it down the road, it actually doesn't sound too bad at all. The knock didn't get louder at all, and it actually drives pretty darn good. And once we get that muffler and this knocking noise taken care of, this thing may be alright. Needless to say, we're going to drive it around a little more and make sure everything is good with this engine, and maybe it'll break in a little bit and those ticks and knocks will work their way out. I can only hope and cross my fingers. Alright, well we got it running, and that's half the battle, because this thing would not run at all, and it was a lot of work just to get to this point right here. I really wanted to finish this complete project all in one video, but that's not going to happen. There's a lot of work to still be done on this thing. We got a lot of interior work to do. We still got to get the engine kind of figured out. We got to knock on it, although we got it running good. Now, this is a junkyard motor, so there's things to expect when you're putting it in. It's been sitting for a while. You can expect some ticks and some knocks here and there. I do have a warranty on this engine, so if I need to get another one and do this job all the way over again, that's an option. Not a valuable one, because I really don't want to do this job all the way over again. So I'd much rather just have this motor either fixed in the car or just have it start sounding right just by driving it around. That would be the best thing, if I just drove it around and it started sounding right. We're going to drive it around a little more. We're going to make sure the engine, we're going to try to get the engine tick to go away. We're going to run see-through through it, whatever. And if I can't get it to go away that way, we're going to pull the valve covers back off, and we may have to adjust the valves. And I've never done that before on one of these engines, but we'll figure it out. Me and you together, we'll figure out how to do it. Okay, and I'll make a video about it so you know how to do it. But in the meantime, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and you can go over to my Patreon where I'm trying to post more videos, but I only got one video. We're going to get more videos up on there. You can go over there, subscribe to my Patreon, subscribe to this channel here, and you can email me at justcallme81@gmail.com if you have any questions about any of your own projects or any of the help you need. Thanks for watching, and whatever you do, however you do it, make sure you work hard, make sure you play hard, and most importantly, make sure you stay dirty. You can just call me Eddie.